Well, some people just have to do anything to keep themselves relevant, and especially in the times we are in now, with the lack of distribution for these comic book quote-unquote professionals and these TV people that their jobs have all been shut down. Dana Schwartz. She is the gift that keeps on giving, and not in a good way either.
What?
No, I know. It's a She-Hulk show, right?
What?
I know. She can't keep her mouth shut. She went after South Park.
You get your bitch ass back in the kitchen and make me some pie.
That didn't work out.
What?
And then
What?
she tried it again on Twitter. Somebody makes a statement, and she, of course, plays victim. Let's talk about it in the video.
Hi, I'm Dana Schwartz, the author of And We're Off. And here are 5 things you need to know about my book.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
1, it is about a teenage girl who goes on a European trip to 4 different countries. 2, it involves a very cute boy with an accent.
Also, was ist mit Ihrem wunderschönen Bein geschehen? Ein Nebenprodukt der Arschtritte, die Sie in der deutschen Filmwelt ausleihen, zweifelsohne.
3, it is based on the trip that I took after I graduated college.
I mean, how much fucking money you make selling panties?
4, I wrote it while I was interning at The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
Let's see, a something by any other name.
5, oh God, what was 5? Oh, it involves Tumblr fan art.
Say something funny, Winnie. We can't wait.
I'm not funny.
Just do women's comedy stuff, you know, talk about how fat you are and how you want to have sex with guys and then say, my vagina a lot.
Come with me, and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination.
Well. So today we find ourselves back on Bounding into Comics, article by John F. Trent from yesterday. Marvel's She-Hulk writer Dana Schwartz. Fan gatekeeping is a profoundly toxic subculture.
Check out the big brain. You're a smart motherfucker. That's right.
Ah, yes. Once again, Dana decides to play the victim because she wanted to run her mouth. This is the problem with these people. They never learn. They never stop. They are in search of... Look at the thumbnail again one more time. Hang on. Let me make it appear. Retweets. They're not redeemable for cash value. And let's take a look at some of those tweets right here.
Oh, it's funny. Keep on.
And before you get and pouring out some of that, what was it? Simp sauce. Simp sauce. Get your simp sauce here. Good for all simps. All simps get your sauce. This woman is nobody's friend. Trust me, if you are a man, and unless she absolutely needs you, you're worthless to her. Trust me. Marvel Studios' upcoming Disney Plus She-Hulk TV series writer Dana Schwartz recently declared that fan gatekeeping is a profoundly toxic subculture. Just like these comic book pros right now that want to run their mouth on Twitter when their industry is crumbling around them, tell you that if you come in my mentions, you don't get to keep your civilian status.
No, don't like that.
Civilian status. Yeah, like anybody recognizes you guys in public outside of like maybe the top like what, 0.25% of you people? Nobody recognizes you people in public.
What a story, Mark.
Yeah, you can say that again.
I'm so happy I have you as my best friend, and I love Lisa so much.
These comments come after Schwartz railed on South Park back in February, saying it seems impossible to overstate the cultural damage done by South Park. And here we see, this is when She-Hulk still looked like She-Hulk. And this guy, Dan Slott, yeah, he's got me blocked on Twitter. In response to the ensuing criticism and outright mockery of her statements regarding South Park, Schwartz would play the victim and ask, is there something that women are allowed to have an opinion on? Let's take a look at that tweet right now. You can't spout garbage on Twitter. Expect not to get roasted when you're as polarizing as Dana Schwartz is. I mean, really. I tweeted a pretty mild opinion about a TV show on my own personal Twitter account like a week ago. Does anybody talk like that? And I've been getting multiple death threats every day since. Like, LOL, is there something that women are allowed to have an opinion on?
Thank you.
Now, Schwartz has decided to publicly shame one of her critics as well as the entire male gender.
Justice, 1, 2, 3. I wanna be PC. It's just the way to be for me and you. Your hateful slurs are through.
She stated, "Men really need to take a deep breath." As shown in Schwartz's tweet, Instagram user Juicy Revival questioned Schwartz's Schwartz, may the Schwartz be with you, passion for the comic book genre after she shared a photo of the graphic novel Dancing at the Pity Party by Tyler Fetter to her Instagram. Juicy Revival asked, "So where on your Instagram is there a mention that you're passionate about comics? In a medium where frauds are spotted like criminals casing banks, how do you truly believe you'll write something interesting?" Juicy Revival added, "I would say good luck, but that would imply that you give a shit beyond your own upward mobility. So how about don't fuck up an iconic character created by a company that has grown the IP for nearly 50 years. Damn! Juicy Revival added, "It's a connected medium with a character driven by its origin source material. My question is, why are you interested beyond the money? What makes you want to write about She-Hulk when you clearly are not interested in the genre?"
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
And those are all valid questions. He's not insulting her by any stretch of the imagination. He's asking her questions. They continued, "Pointless seething? Why am I hearing that the industry that birthed the character she is about to write is in trouble on every major journalist outlet? After the train wreck that was Birds of Prey, I would prefer not having another quote-unquote writer enter the arena and produce a pile of garbage even her most ardent Simpson sycophants, that's your cue, Tim, won't support."
You got knocked the fuck out!
Juicy Revival added, "Point of my seething protest is that I can smell the disingenuous agenda."
And you look like if I touched you, you'd be sticky, and frankly, you smell bad.
Driven persona, and I would like this quote-unquote writer to the stunning and brave guts to tell me why she is motivated to write about a comic character. Sure, that answer isn't only about cash and a feminist agenda.
Oh, well then maybe you can tell me who was in charge of the feminist movement of the early 60s.
A bunch of fat old skanks on their periods?
Right?
On Twitter, Schwartz replied, "Oh no, he doubled down."
You know, I ought to vandalize your ass with my foot.
I mean, I swear to God, like, this woman is...
was a retard.
And for every one of these Simpson idiots that likes this, there's a lot of us we don't. And normal people aren't even on Twitter, so this is just for you weird, but like I'm on here to promote my channel and my show. Very rarely do I tweet. I added her a couple times today in her mentions. I hope I don't lose my civilian status. Oh my God, I'm so scared. What am I gonna do? Schwartz also replied on Instagram, "Why do I need to prove anything to you? And also, LOL, do you really think anyone goes into comics for the money?" Schwartz also replied on Instagram. Yeah, this is her reply from above. The debate on Instagram would continue with Juicy Revival expressing why they are skeptical of She-Hulk and Schwartz's writing talent. However, on Twitter, Schwartz returned to her tried and true status of playing a victim because she happens to be a woman. She asked, "Earnest question, do male writers deal with this? Also imagine seriously believing anyone got into comics for the money. LOL.
You useless pustule!"
Anyone who has followed Bounding into Comics knows the answer to this question has nothing to do with gender. Plenty of male writers are taking over beloved franchises such as Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Terminator, Charlie's Angels, Hellboy, not to mention Marvel Comics and DC. They aren't just taking over these franchises, they're actively warping them and in some cases outright hostile to the fan bases that built the franchises, the people who actually buy the products and provide investors with a return that allows people to write for these properties in the first place. Star Trek Picard writer Michael Chabon made it perfectly clear in a recent interview he wrote Picard to piss off or provoke people. Numerous Star Wars fans could not be happier if Rian Johnson never touches Star Wars again after what he did to Luke Skywalker, the Force, and the entire Star Wars canon in The Last Dumpster Fire. I've personally criticized Johnson as well as other Star Wars writers like Cavan Scott on their lack of understanding of Star Wars. YouTuber Gary Beekler has openly criticized Doctor Who chief scribe Chris Chibnall In a recent video, Buechler stated, Chibnall is incapable of writing this show because the writers for this show don't understand science fiction, nor do they understand Doctor Who. Nevertheless, Schwartz continues with her victimhood status. She sets up a new argument that even the idea of questioning a woman on their writing qualifications is sexist. She writes on Twitter, the idea that I need to somehow prove my worthiness in order to work in a certain genre is incredibly toxic and also very, very sexist.
And fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
And because of the Twitter character restrictions, VV means very, very sexist. She added, only people whom I need to explain my experience, my credentials, and my passion are the people that hired me. Her first argument is completely just and laughable. And she even contradicts herself in her second point by admitting that there are people she needs to explain her experience and credentials to. As for her second argument, if you take it as it is, she is technically correct. She only needs to explain her experience and credentials and passion to those who hired her. But if the show fails to capture an audience, I'm sure Disney and Marvel Studios executives might come calling. If a fan reaction to the show is wildly negative, Schwartz will learn that executives are beholden to the people who are purchasing their product. In this day and age where Hollywood is determined to destroy tried and true franchises with identity politics and woke politics, not to mention introducing canon-breaking character developments and plot points for the sake of being modern, fan gatekeeping might be more important than ever. It might be one of the few things attempting to preserve the rich, wonderful storytelling of the franchises, which is absolutely correct. Schwartz then concluded on Twitter by once again shaming Juicy Revival and trying to play the victim by using her gender. Go figure, this is what these SJWs do. She wrote, okay, I'm posting this here to show how this guy has finally shown his whole ass. He is terrified at the prospect that a woman might actually genuinely love writing the same characters he enjoys. It would tear his worldview apart. I love when people say that, like, you're terrified of a strong woman, aren't you? It's like, I'm not really sure where she gets the idea that Juicy Revival is terrified that a woman might be writing She-Hulk. Juicy Revival doesn't mention women at all in the attached image. However, Juicy Revival does specifically mention Dana Schwartz. Maybe it's just that Juicy Revival doesn't want Dana Schwartz writing She-Hulk given her past comments regarding South Park, her obvious disdain for men in general, her attempts to constantly play victim, and what appears to be her overall woke outlook on life. Those are all major red flags when it comes to a Hollywood writer, because as we've seen over the past 5 years or so, people like Dana Schwartz can't help but put that stuff into their writing, and it turns out to be a piss-poor product that drives fans away from franchises. I couldn't have said it better myself. Like I said, this article by Mr. John F. Trent. There she is right there. There's Thotimus Prime. Yeah, so she's writing the She-Hulk TV show. I think this woman is just, she is basically like, you better rev up that chemo machine because she's fucking cancer. Let's look around the room here. Show of hands, all the Dana Schwartz fans. Yeah, that's what I thought. So none to be had. And like I said, She-Hulk, cool character, except for recently. I mean, She-Hulk is just basically a misandrist now. And she just writes, like, the comic is nothing but female revenge fantasies now. If the roles were reversed and it was just a guy out just beating the shit out of women like this, my final thoughts on this are that she's as they like to call the people that they don't like, she's just a shitty person. I won't say she's a shitty person. That sounds bad. No, I would say Dana Schwartz is more along the lines of pretty much a fucking twat. That's pretty much the best way I can describe her. She's worthless. Truly worthless. I mean, your woke points you're not going to get cash value out of those, honey. You can't trade those in for another nose job, or getting your teeth fixed because your teeth were fucked up. You had a fucked up nose, so you had to pay to get that fixed. But you could eat all that makeup, bitch. You're still ugly on the inside. Damn! Let's take this home. So what do you guys make of the nitwit Dana Schwartz comments and continual idiocy on Twitter, huh? Let me know in the comments below. Here's where you can find us on social media: Instagram, Facebook, the Twitter, past podcasts on Anchor, iTunes, and Spotify. Now, let's talk about the Fandom Menace and that business, shall we? Hit that subscribe button and join the Fandom Menace. And remember, if I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and there's another video coming up next, right here on Etapokuians, the place to be reviews, where I've been here with all of you.